Hello there, ladies and gentle sausages, and welcome back to our look at the new blocks for Space Engineers. And I'm not saying they added new blocks, as you probably know, they updated all the old ones. So this is part 2 of 4 of us looking through all these gosh darn blocks, and pretty much finding all the trillion and one little errors, reporting them so the devs might fix them, and also just giving you a, well, painfully close look at them all. Anyway, here's the continuation of this close look. Now let's actually go ahead and click on this and tell those rotors to stop spinning before we start looking at these this time. Might save us a little tiny bit of time. How did you do that? I don't even know. I don't even know how you did this. Yeah, I'm guessing here that maybe they went ahead and... Look at the faces here, right? You got this, like, big square face here, and then you got all the edges. But all the edges basically look different, and I think they got different UVs set. Same material, same texture, but the UV set is shifted or something. It doesn't look like they're all just the same thing. That's how I'm guessing why it looks so odd. It's almost like they went for some sort of, if it was intentional, like they're going for some sort of stealth paint or something. It's either that, or they somehow told the edges to be hard for just the large flat areas, and smoothed, which it looks like they did here, for the edges, but it doesn't end up running between the two of them. Maybe it looked good in 3ds Max or whatever they're using, but not so good in game. Oh, what the heck is that? My hands are in the air. I don't know what happened here, but something from hell has crept forth and caused just havoc up on this top part. By the way, we're on the antenna. I didn't actually say, but some sort of nightmare demon definitely caused some sort of havoc here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's more of the same, but up here it looks like it's probably intentional. Yeah, this is like an intentional fusion where two pieces of metal meet, but here I don't know what is happening there. Looks better over here. Still got the weird where the edges are different. UV set are smoothed differently. We're making it all look a bit odd. Maybe it's some sort of intentional thing, but I'm not getting it. And you got some crazy stuff going on here where you just got lots of geometry there. I think that's just having a heyday and not hanging out right. Nice design with these things here, though. I really like the design there. I don't know what's happening here. Looks like your geometry's decided to just eat its way into something else. I think if we were to look at this, it's not going to be a perfect circle. No, it looks like a perfect cylindrical thing, but... Oh, it's like it's been pulled down or something. It's creepy. Not cool. That triangle's just confusing, isn't it? What am I looking at? It's like... You know, I think they have a normal map for this right here, but what's happened is somehow, the UVs got pulled down, so it's supposed to be just a nice normal mapped edge, or it's like a smooth edge running around from this point right here to the point up here, or to a point that is right here that we can't see. Oh, I bet you somebody came through here and got rid of some geometry to try to save polygons right here. No, there is geometry there. It's just... not good. Let's leave it at that. It's too hard to explain without being able to actually show you guys the mesh. Also got some hardcore texture stretching all along here. Maybe they decided it looked kind of cool and went with it, because I could sort of see it if it was like, hey, we're trying to make it look like a grid. You do got a world hole right there. I would honestly say just grab like this vertex right here and pull it inwards a little bit, so from the outside it'll look fine, but it'll cover it from the outside. Don't know what that's all about. And then here, again with the corners having a different material altogether this time, it doesn't look so bad on this because it looks more intentional. That looks intentional, so I'd say, okay, that's what you're going for, go for it. Did you see that? Am I hallucinating? It's just blurry, that's all it is. It's blurry, blurry, blurry. Not the same resolution as everything else. That's what, like, look how crisp and clean that is, and then you come down here, it's blurry, blurry, blurry. Tiny little bit of Z fighting right here at the bottom of it, but again, it's the bottom, so it's not nearly as important. Because presumably most people are going to be attaching this stuff, not necessarily like this, but from the bottom. I don't know, I think I could still use a tweak, but it's minor as shite. Texture stretching hell. Jesus Christ. Look at these textures just stretched straight into the center. You know, like, look at this right here, all along the whole thing. Yikes. Okay. Moving on. Stretched is shite. Did I just see more? I think right here, it's a little stretch to that corner point. Cool. Yes, not too much. Oh, yep, we got more here, more here. This isn't textured correctly. The UVs, at least, I should say, are just all over the place. Look at this. Completely off there, off there. The model itself is a great design. I really love these big bulky pieces that stick in there. It's like chug, chug, and the handle, like you could pull the whole thing apart. Love that, but there's some... everywhere you look at this model, it's just in pieces. Really like this too, the flip out thing. Love that, but the texture stretching is just unreal on this model. Something went wrong. Like, I bet this was done right, and that's some sort of glitch that happened somewhere, because that's just too much. That's crazy. Oh, got some more in here. Stretchy, stretchy. Stretchy, stretchy all along here. Again, maybe they were trying to go for something. No, I don't think so. It's everywhere. Look at it. It's just like, almost like somebody tried to go for a camo or something and just stretched it everywhere. I don't know, maybe they're trying to go for something, but it just... yeah, it's like, is this an overlay they have on here? Yeah, there's an overlay here with this little bit of detail going across. You know, a decal, as some other more modern programs would project it on there, but it's just an overlaid piece of geometry. But yeah, the bottom... the underlying texture, you know, this cool metally plastic here that can be painted over, is just skewed like crazy right there. Oh, and we got world holes too. World hole here, world hole there. Let's see, how far back can we go without noticing it? About right here. That's not too... well, I'm still noticing it on the bottom there. Oh, did I just see what I think I just saw? Nah, it's good. It was just highly reflective bottom piece. I thought there was another world hole there. It's good. It's good, good, good. Bit odd the way they have the rounded bit there nudged right up to another flat surface. I almost expect them to merge together or move this large puck downwards to be partway through it, so this, you know, sort of rounded top would be going partway through this here. And we, of course, got more textures, stuff just completely skewed everywhere. Jesus. Moving on. Yep, same on the other turret. We have just insane amounts of that going on. Design-wise... sorry, design-wise, this, you know, the belt of ammo doesn't make any sense, but it's a cool thing. I don't think they should get rid of it. Otherwise, they'd have to have a bunch of bones to actually animate the thing, you know, the belt changing as the gun aimed up and down, so I think it's fine as is, and I think it's pretty cool. It's just a bit silly. Any world holes or anything? Oh, there's a minor one right there. There's a world hole right there. Yep, there's a world hole right there. And then, what else do we have here? Yet another world hole I missed. Just more of the texture stretching. I'm not even going to point it out on these turrets. It's like the devil came by and just decided he was going to tear it all to shreds with cat claws or something like that. Cool design. Love the little cylindrical holding pucks to hold the thing together so they don't all spread out as it spins around. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's overall very well done. It's just the textures, or more precisely, the UVs, where you skin the model. I've just gone crazy on this. Again, with the shiny triangle. Whatever texture map they're using apparently has a shiny section on it, and they seem to accidentally flow into that on their corners sometimes. Also, we got another world hole right here, along the bottom. Moving on. Well, the small turret is looking great. I'm not seeing any world holes jumping out at me, anything like that. After talking about those two turrets and having so many issues, I just felt I'd share one with minimal issues. A little bit of something crazy going on right there. UVs again. Yeah, gotta go over stuff with the fine-tooth comb to find all those silly UV bullocks that happen. Yeah, okay, moving on. That's great. Pretty much no issue. Just that one little thing at the front that I saw. And if I was to have a minor complaint, it would be honestly just that the resolution on these little pucks that you guys are using everywhere is a bit low. That's really it. I think it's the same one that's actually used like right here and right here. It's just tossed about. It's really, really great use of texture work because it means you don't have to actually have a new texture map for everything. It uses up a little bit of geometry if that's really what they're doing, but I mean it's... oh yeah. And it's apparently... yeah, Yeah, I have no idea why I can still see that. Maybe they're not doing exactly like I thought. Maybe it's projected in some way. But either way, it's a good use. It's pretty cool. Arrgh. Well, there's something. I was just thinking like, oh sweet, I might be able to skip past this one almost completely, but I don't know if that's, I don't think that's an intentional artistic thing where this piece of geometry here, this like edge right here has just been pulled downwards, because it looks like it's supposed to be like this, where you sort of get this little indentation that runs along the top, where it's like two pieces. It's a rather hard edge, but it works, of geometry smooshing together. But then right here, it's like it's getting yanked down, and it looks like there might be... Yeah, this bumps out a lot more than I thought with this hard edge, but it's fine. It's just that this is pulled down, so you get the world hole through there. I don't think that was intentional. And then you get this weird dark line right here, going crazy. I don't know what the heck's happened. I think it's mainly UVs with that part there. Overall, pretty nice design. You get a bit of a face right here with a nose thing right there, an eye, or it looks like somebody's trousers. Moving on down the trouser legs to the bottom. Okay, we got another one of these crazy shiny triangles. Woo! The Devil's Triangle of Shine. Crazy how low resolution this bit is compared to this bit. I think it needs a bit of a bump up, just a little bit, because it's going to bump up that texture and it'll look great on all of them. Either that or I guess you guys could drop this texture, which would be a bit disappointing, but overall it's nice. If you'd up them a little bit. That's such a hard edge. I mean, it works, but it's a hard edge. Jesus Christ. Alright, excess geometry on the bottom of these things at the top. Yeah, looks like a lot of excess. You got the beveled edge that's not needed, and the whole flat thing from these little pucks at the top of the son of a gun. What else do we have? Anything else in here? Not really. I think all this is needed, because it shows up in some other way. I guess except for the backside of this, you guys don't need that. This big horizontal beam. You guys also have this geometry here stretching inwards all along here. Don't know why you have that. I guess it's the idea that, you know, you have your beveled edge with these, and then it goes inwards, but I don't think it's showing up anywhere since you have this big dark bottom, you know, sort of clamp that holds it together, which looks pretty nice, but don't understand why you got the big gray metal pushing in there. Probably just something you forgot. Silly bullocks. You could delete the back geometry from these little guys in here. That's where I am, just in case I cut ahead. And you got a world hole right there, but yeah, you could delete the back geometry from these, since I think they're pretty much flush with their sides. Either way, I don't think you're going to be able to get the camera at any sort of angle where it'll actually show that they're missing. And again, you could just pull them out a little tiniest bit wider, or even better, pull the... they still got the back area there, so you're not really going to be able to tell, I don't think, if you just delete the back ends of those cylinders there. You could even consider rotating this texture around partially. I don't know, you gotta watch out for these seams here at the back that'll get you. That's geometry you can delete too, since they're pressed... no, they're not pressed into the wall. Well, this one's pressed into the wall, which means it's offset, which is fine. But you could press these other ones into the wall as well, as long as that doesn't create too much open space here for you. That's up to you guys there on that one to fiddle around with. Inconsistency here, where you got the two little hinges here, which one is really near the bottom. It's a minor gripe. But then you got this one here, which is sort of in the middle, which I don't think that was intentional. Because if we move on to the other module here, you got the 2 and then the 2, which looks a lot nicer. And then you go back to the 2 and the 1, which is a bit of a... well, silly bullocks, I find. Bit of a silly bullocks. Also, these models seem to be the same old models with some maybe minor love with these little pieces here. I don't know, just pointing it out. I don't know, I guess they're new. They have some geometry fun times. They also have a world hole right here where I can see through that. I suspect that's probably the same on all these, because you probably made a base mesh and then copied it over to replace the center gubbins, which it would appear to be true. Also got a world hole right through here. I'm gonna guess you guys aren't... oh, that's not a world hole, that's just pull the geometry shut and delete these faces. Who cares? Those silly pipes, well, whatever. They'll be good enough, I think, guys. I don't know. I'm gonna assume you guys aren't done with these, because mainly the center parts look like the same old models we've seen before. So I'm gonna move on to this one. Push your geometry. Push it good. Grab those faces and pull them to the hood. What the fuck is this seam? It's a fucking seam. That's minor as shit. Who cares? Guess the guy with the fine-tooth comb. cares? Alrighty, we're on the, what do you call this thing? Large cargo container, which is kind of cool because it's sort of like a cuboid cargo container with like an extra outer shell around it, holding it all together. But I did notice a few, UV issues down here right away. Pretty much instantly. You can see some stretchiness going on here. Moving across here pretty good, but then you get stretchiness here. Let's see, is it mirrored over here? It is. Stretchy stretch. And it's the same on the top side. As for the rest of it, I'm not seeing anything wrong. I keep thinking I'm seeing world holes, but it's just shiny, awesome metal, so, yeah, everything would appear to be pretty damn good on this one. Floating inside of it, we get this large thing, which is just saving geometry because it goes from one side to the other, so it's really just one big face here, if people don't know, so that's, all pretty good. Yeah, that's good. Hey, little conveyor, how you doing? Boop boop, face inside. Oh, it's pretty simple. It's just those things again that they can't delete really. Oh boy. I'll give that a A+. That's rocking and rolling. I don't see any issues on it. Projector. We meet again, big green-eyed beast. What the hell am I looking at here? I mean, you guys could do the same as you did in there, and just go ahead and grab this geometry, the cylinder, and have it go all the way through. There's no need to, I mean, it looks like you guys merged the geometry. No! Yeah, look, there's clearly a gaps between this geometry here. Yeah, you could have just, instead of having a cylinder here that stops, and then a new cylinder that goes from the middle to here, you could have 1, 2, 3 cylinders, and job done. Should be pretty easy, just, you know, connect them, edge loop and delete it, and then take the UVs and lay them out again, and then, as long as they're tiling UV sets, you should be alright. Just gotta wrap your head around it. I mean, I guess, you know, I'm thinking of where the seam goes, and I guess, you know, leave the seam... where do you put the seam? I don't know, I can never figure that out. It looks like you guys got your seam, like, right here, and it goes down, so I guess that'll have to do, because you barely notice from, like, right here even. Pretty close, you don't even notice it. You can see the seam right there. But, you don't notice those too much, do you? Usually. I mean, you could, depending how you're doing it, shift that seam up so it disappears into this, but that might make it more apparent. Because you'd be like, what's that little line that didn't disappear into this bulk here? Why is the devil triangle back? I'd just like to take a moment to be positive. I really like this texture here. Like the grungy, glowy, green thing of awesome. I like it. What are you, giant nondescript box? Wait, what the hell is this? Oh, it's the, is this the arc furnace? Oh no, this is the missile launcher. The missile launcher with the missile pods of the missiles. A lot of geometry for that, but it's worth it for all the circles. Also, if you got tryptophobia or whatever it's called, I'm sure this might set you off a little bit. Ah! Oh, by the way, right away, what I noticed when I first saw this block is, this. There's nothing there but a few Yeah, it looks like this, you know, these little bars here were copied to and mirrored to the left and then forward to us. So, X and Y or X and Z or whichever way you wish to see. But yeah, that's the main faux with that. It's a very nondescript thing, but for something that's going to be shoofed into a ship, and you're probably only going to see the front, I don't think that's really a problem. What the hell am I seeing? Okay, yeah, your normals are reversed on these corners right here. Hold on, I can't see out! I'm trapped forever! But yeah, your normals are reversed there, because it's supposed to look like this, and it's reversed. Is there a metal pipe here? No, there isn't. Okay, that looks to be right, but these are reversed as well right here. Yeah, and up here. Right there, you got some, and right here. Got those. Okay, moving on. Jurassic Park all of a sudden, eh? Well, the assembler looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any serious issues. It's actually kind of interesting the way this center gray thing just stops right here. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not seeing any issues with the assembler. I don't know, maybe I've gone blind, but it looks top-notch. Looks good. They've changed the Warhead an awful lot, and honestly, I don't like it. Well, I like it, but I don't like it, because while I like these things coming out, which they had before, And I don't see any art issues really with it. I mean, there's some weirdness in these corners again, where it's like getting dark. I don't know if that's just the game engine deciding, hey, we're going to throw some shadows in there, or if it's a texture thing with the occlusion map, or what. But yeah, I don't see any issues with that. The design, I always like this sort of cubic thing, but I guess for a mine you're going to leave floating in space, especially this cylindrical bit, it's good, ain't it? What am I complaining about? It's top notch. I like it. I especially like this because it looks almost, aquatic. Like it's going to fit together. I like that. And I also like the fact that you guys got these hinges in here, sort of like to hold it in place. They wouldn't actually work since there's only a single hinge point, and they're all tied together to an external structure that's a hard point. It's all one big thing, but it works. It's cool. What else do we have in here? We have world holes in here. That's what we have in here. World holes right here. I just flew through the thing, which doesn't really show the world, but world hole right there. And still see it, still see it, still see it, still see it. Okay, yep, it's most definitely apparent. By the way, I did bump my textures up to high real quick just to compare, and that's still fairly sharper than that. So I think just that base texture just needs some little love. Love it. Give it some love. Can I just say really quickly that, even though the devil's... it's not the devil's triangle, it's just some sort of excess geometry that was pulled in instead of being... I don't know, that's not happy. But can I just say I do love these cables right here? They dance and they prance and they run around. But, yeah, I do love these cables right here. They're pretty nifty. I like the geometry detail on these little things, like you can almost manually grab them with your hand and turn them. They're way too big, I think, but that's what they sort of look like. I like this. No serious issues here. No issues at all, besides that one I pointed out, this little black dot from hell. Geometry is, like, pulled into a bad way, I think, is what's going on in that little corner there. Oh my god, how did I miss that? The devil's triangle's back. Look at it, it's just running right along here. Is that on the other side as well? It is. The devil's triangle's just right there. Yikes. You don't have the devil's triangle. You're a good model. Okay, well, the drill looks to be good. I'm not seeing anything wrong with the drill. I don't know, maybe I've gone blind, but I don't think I have, and I think the drill is perfecto. Mundo. I'm not son of a bitch. For every time I start saying it, I find something. Yeah? That's, not right. That's like your bevel died here. Like the bevel edge he had going wrong just crapped out. Is that the same on all these? I mean, if you guys have just one of these spinny drill things you copied everywhere, yeah, it's going to be the same on all of them. And it would appear to be so. Yep. Alrighty. Well, almost everything on these is perfect. Yeah. Almost everything. The new light. Let's do that. The new light. Can I just say real quick? I see a massive world hole right away. I was about to say I love it, because I do love it. But there's just a gigantic world hole right there, and there. And, there. Yep. And there. Okay, well, you can't really hide those when, it's got a light source in the middle glowing bright. You also get some faceted edges, I believe is what these called here. You see the clickety-click clocks? Yep. Okie dokie. Besides that, though, this thing is awesome. At first, it threw me off in the fact that it's a large, sort of, rectangular piece here with the almost spherical bottom part sticking out. And I thought, well, it's not actually touching the cinder point here, so how is it connecting? But whatever, let's ignore that. It's kind of cool still because it's almost like a flashlight with this big block holding the actual light piece together. It's cool. I like it. Yeah, and again, the only real thing is that this looks a bit pixelated compared to the shiny, awesome, painty metal here. Platform 3 out of 7, I think it is, right? So 6 out of 6. You can see why it took the devs so long to get these things done, and why there are still some issues, is because there are so bloody many of them. It is quite the undertaking they had to do to go ahead and retexture all these bloody things. By the way, you can now, left-click to interact, I think it was, yeah. Or right-click to enter this mode. Let's grab the rotors and once again tell them to stop their silly bullocks. Oh, by the way, a little complaint real quick. Yeah, F7 doesn't bring your camera back to your character anymore. Like, I like the F7, where you'd have control of, you can F7 and then hold Alt and change it, and then your character would move with it and all that stuff, but, yeah, there's no way to really, apparently, get back to your character anymore. So if you fly your spectator off somewhere, you can control spacebar your character to it, can't really get your spectator camera back to it as far as I can tell. Maybe if we, this F6, F7, F8, F9, F6, F6, 7, 7, F... Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, that's dangerous. So you can get yourself lost pretty well. Pretty nifty door here. I guess I probably said that when it first released, but it's still nifty. I like the fact that the in-crop there and out-cropped here just to line up. Pretty cool. Let's actually go ahead and press it just because it is so nifty. Thunk fits together. I love that. I loves it. And the windows look so nice. And I'm really not seeing anything wrong with it. They kept the cool tracks on the floor so how the door can move, the tracks on the wall and all that. Overall, it's very well done. I'm not seeing really any issues with it. I'm very happy with this piece. Yeah, if I was to pick the tiniest of nits, I would say, well, there are the Devil's Triangles right here. And some dark edges there. So Devil's Triangle is back again. Also, the truest tiny nit I was going to pick is just that. That little corner looks a bit silly. I don't know why. I think it's the distance between two of the verts right there, just a little bit bigger than the rest of them. But that's the tiniest of nits ever, which I would assume should not be taken as proper feedback. The Devil's Triangle, though, should be. And by the way, the Devil's Triangle is down here as well. I think I'm going to have to take back my previous theory where I thought it transitioned into another texture. I think it's just that there is a random piece of something else that's just stuck in there for some reason. Because it's all... Devil's Triangle is pretty consistent in a few spots. I don't know, since we're being so nitpicky today. Well, is it really nitpicky? I'd say that it's still a little bit annoying that the door just comes and clips through this material right here. I'd like to, have some sort of geometry there, at least on the very top, like this geometry right here. That would be pretty nifty, to hold it in place to make it look like the door's actually running along something. I don't know, I guess it's fine. But also, there's still a gap in the door. They're not lining up perfectly. Art-wise, again with the, I don't know if this is supposed to be, let's color it. You know what? Let's see what happens if we were to go ahead and color it. Nope, that was into that theory. I thought maybe since these two pieces look a little bit different, maybe one was colorable and one wasn't. Nope, it just looks like the UVs are a bit silly, and I don't understand why there's yeah, it's basically there's a geometry trough right here, where there's just a bunch of geometry to break up the edges of the door section from the rest of it, and I don't understand why that is. Interesting. Looks beautiful, that texture, huh? I mean, it looks like paint. It's great. Metal paint sort of thing. Nifty. I like it. Don't see any weird stretches or anything on this door either, so we can move on, I guess. Oh, is that the Devil's Triangle again, or is that something else? There's some sort of weird dark line from hell itself. Come to purge humanity. Shit, son, that looks ace. I mean, besides the tiniest bit of texture stretching right here on, these clips, which doesn't quite look right, this is ace. This is great. I'm very happy with this door. Some people have complained about that door and the fact that the hangar doors, when they open up, they have this weird gap through here. Which, they're called a hangar door, they're not called a blast door, so I guess the universe can be alright with there being a massive gap here. They're not supposed to stop blasts, they're just supposed to be a larger door for your use. Which, by the way, looks incredible. Except for the Devil's Triangle, which appears to be just having a heyday and Z-fighting itself to bits here, which is just fantastic. Rest of this, though, like the keep out? Okay, it's a bit odd. It's also kind of different shiny, but let's assume it was a sticker stuck on there. Besides the Devil's Triangle showing up a bit on this side, yeah, it's top notch and that little stretchy. That's ace. I likes. Hey, you want to hear a nitpick that I would actually slap somebody if they told me? How does the line that scraped this paint off go down into a groove, come back up, go over, down into another groove, and go in and pop up a little bit more? Shouldn't it be zigzagging like it went down and then went off? Yeah, that's bullshit nitpicking right there. It's fine. It is fine, ladies and gentle sausages. It should be left the funk alone. But this right here, which I didn't actually see when I started, I thought this was a perfect model. Not so much. Yeah, I got some stretchy stretch there again. Gosh darn it. Every time I think everything's perfect and I can make a joke, I find something wrong and then I feel bad for making a joke. Oh, shit, son. Here's the other one. How's he doing? Oh, it doesn't have the texture. It doesn't have the texture stretching. It's a different base. Unlike the other one, this one is just a standard flat base. This one has this little bump up around it. This one doesn't, which is fine, I think. Saves on geometry, too. And then we come to this piece here, which has these... It just looks very odd, doesn't it? Again, it's like the shadowing... It makes it look like it's pushed in there more than I think it's supposed to. I don't know, maybe they wanted that where it looks like it's almost indented in the corner to push in there farther, but I think it's something to do with the normal maps creating excess shadow or something like that. Let's see, it never really goes away. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, that's that. Let's go ahead and actually, can we do that like oh, middle mouse just colors it, right? This isn't Minecraft where you can get the actual block you're aiming at onto your hotbar by middle mouse clicking. Silly sage, you know that. Anyway, this is a blast door, so we can actually go ahead and put a few of these in here. This is more of just a critique of art style than it is of art assets. Yeah, it's a bit odd, isn't it? I really don't like any of that. I like the idea that you'd have these pieces that push down, but I'd like it if they actually had like a connector, a bit of silver in there or something that made it look like, hey, these are clips that are holding it together. They're going to hold each of these different sections together, which they look alright from, like, even here. I don't know, maybe they're fine and I'm nitpicky as hell today. I don't know, they just end up looking a bit weird like this, don't they? I guess it works. I guess it works as like a giant... It looks more like a blast wall than a blast door. I just wish it was something more like this, where it actually looked like two of these would stretch between these and hold them all together. Maybe even if they reached in almost to the center point, or were pushed back and there was a tiny one, or a piece of glass over it, or something. Just, I don't know, I'm not too keen on this. Let's leave it at that, eh? Art-wise, I'm not seeing any, like, serious issues. Like, technicalities. I'm not seeing any massive issues there. It's just sort of form-fitted concrete blocks almost. Oh, I love this little bit here, this indentation there. Just doesn't look like a big solid door anymore, though. Yeah, I like it. It's a simple block, but it works. It's nifty. I especially like the shiny metal bit. It works. No, like, technical art issues here. Oh, and then we come back to the Passageway block that used to be a ladder, which... Yeah, okay. I'm glad it's still in the game because I've made use out of these in the code of just being hey, it's basically just a block, but we're going to count it as something else. Oddly, though, I'm not sure this is a new model at all. I think it's just UV'd and textured. It looks nice, though. What can I say? The pipes look nice. The little indentations with the shiny metal in the middle look nice. It's a pretty nice thing, I think. Yep, there's no reason for that geometry behind it, but like I said, I think it's the same old model. Also, the normals are reversed on this right here. It's supposed to look like that, but of course, you don't really see it here unless you clip through it. Also, we get a purple. A purple. Let's just move on. Anyway, I think it's the old model, as I've said 3 times now. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtag gal. Oh boy, there's some nice shiny stairs ready for the stage. Well, except for the Devil's Triangle. Also, whatever the hell I'm seeing there, do you see that? Where is it? I saw it a second ago. Oh, what the fuck was happening? And there is a very, very minor world hole right here at the bottom of every step, where, yeah, the geometry just doesn't line up. It seems like it lines up, yeah, perfectly here at the top, but then once you come around to the side, you can see the fronts of them are just pulled out a little bit too much. You get that on every step. So you can see through it like this, and see through it from down here. Of course, you'll only really ever notice that at the first step from down here, because all the other ones, and when you're actually playing, you won't be able to get to that angle, but you might be able to notice it from the sides here. Yeah, I think I saw a little tiny bit of light there once, so, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's worth fixing, maybe it's not, it's a very tiny thing, but it is a world hole. Oh, they even beveled the edges here, like melded them out. That's pretty cool. There is texture stretching here, though, on the sides. Damn. Oh, Jesus Christ, did you see that? Oh my god, it's like if world holes were a religion, this piece would have been praised. Right here you can see, yeah. It's because it's logical. You see this, yes? This piece here, you know, if you're going to be putting multiple ramps together, let's see, let's get a ramp on a hotbar. If you're going to put multiple ramps together, and you're plopping them down like, not like that. Okay, well that thing's back, where it's resetting our rotation when you mouse off of it and back on. But anyway, if you plot multiple ones together, you can see that you have a massive gap here, actually. Okay, I give up. The logic's gone. I thought the idea was that this piece was outcropped right here, boop, as much as this was here, boop, so that when these pieces here were placed next to each other, it would make a nice flat seal, so you wouldn't have a gap. It's not the case. Either way, though, there's a world hole here on the other side of, well, this big piece right here. Just big old world hole right there, along the whole thing. Let's color these, shall we, just to see some color real quick. The textures are all pretty damn nice. Look how beautiful that is. Look how gorgeous that is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. They're not connected. What's going on here? And there's a world hole, but they're beautiful. I don't see any texture stretching, though. That's a big old plus, eh? I will file a minor complaint. It does appear that there is a seam right here, though. I mean, it doesn't look so with this, but I think there's a seam right there, because that sharp metal just ends. Is that a seam, or is that just a texture weirdness? It just seems like there's a seam. Weird. Well, I suspect you have not gotten much of a graphical overhaul, have you, friend? Actually, it looks like it might have, as we do seem to have some geometry popping out here at the top to sort of separate the very top edge from the rest of it. Alright. Overall, it's the same. I don't see any graphical issues with it. Moving on. I mean, honestly, all I would say is I wish these moved so they could actually be like blast shutters. Also, like, you know, I wish we had compound blocks, that way I could put a piece of glass over it as well, and, you know, have blast shutters and glass. Okay, guys, I found another one of these fracking world holes here. Let's stop with the silly voice. Yeah, world hole, right about, let's see, can we see, yeah, we can see it pretty obviously right there. See it? I'm bouncing about because we're in an actual character now, but, yep, you can see world hole right there, behind these blocks. You can just see right through the other side of them. Which is, well, of course, a negative thing. It's not special one-way glass for a Tavaran spaceship in Star Citizen. No, it's an area where you can see through it. You can basically see right here, this whole block is actually supposed to be covered up like the one above us or below us. Basically, that's that. Because, of course, from this angle we can see right through it. Besides that, I don't think I have any minor or major complaints. Nothing else is wrong with this. Besides the fact that... Is this touching? I guess it's touching. Let's pretend it's touching so there's nothing wrong. Otherwise, it's like all these corner pieces are floating. Because I don't think this actually touches the wall, does it? No, it doesn't, so... It just... Yeah, minor nitties of pixies. Let's just pretend that little outcropping is touching it, shall we? You wouldn't know unless you came and poked your head in there. And speaking of poking your head into places, consider poking your head into the next video when it comes out, because we've reached the end of, well, part 2 of our 4-part look at all of the new Space Engineers blocks. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you haven't, well, I am sorry. Not really. It took me a long time to look through all these things. Why did you watch so far through if you weren't enjoying at least seeing some of the critiquing? Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you, dearest humanoid? Anyway, before I rant for 5 hours, that's that. This is the end of the video. Consider liking, disliking, commenting, ranting, raging, or, you know, any of that nonsense. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys and gals, and I shall see you next time. Ta-ta.